Dear students, Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Manzur Ahmad Ganai, lecturer history. Our today's question for 12th class students of history subject is describe the relationships of Mughal nobility with different emperors. Dear students, as you know that nobles were the most important pillar of the ruling elite, ruling class in the Mughal administrative structure. We understand that they had high titles, they had high salaries. These nobles, they had a contingent of troops under their control. Therefore, this was a way that the nobles were an important institution, important class of the Mughal administrative structure, very important class. And we have to discuss the relationships of these nobles with the different Mughal rulers. Dear students, we know that the foundation of Mughal Empire was laid by Babur in 1526, and he ruled for just 4 years. And therefore, during his 4 years, he could not pay attention towards this institution of nobility. Therefore, the institution of nobility could not organize under him. After Babur, there came Humayun. Humayun was caught in his own problems. Therefore, Humayun as well could not pay attention towards the institution of nobility. And the institution of nobility thrived and progressed under 4 Mughal rulers mainly, under Akbar, Jahangir, Shah Jahan, and Aurangzeb. And during the reign of these 4 rulers, the institution of nobility played a very important role in running the administrative affairs of the Mughal administration, Mughal Empire. Let us discuss the relationships of the nobility, of the nobles with these 4 rulers, with these emperors, like from Akbar to Aurangzeb. Number 1, the composition of Mughal nobility during from Akbar to Aurangzeb changed from time to time. We understand that, as I have told you in the features of nobility in the previous question, that nobility was not a class in which there were only Indians. In nobility there were Iranis, there were Central Asians, there were Afghans, there were Uzbeks. So people of different nationalities were part of the nobility, and the composition changed. Sometimes there were more Indians, sometimes there were more Iranians, sometimes there are less Iranians, sometimes there are more Turks. For example, under the time of Akbar, there were Iranis, Toranis, and he introduced a new element of Rajputs in the Mughal nobility. During the time of Jahangir, the Iranis got more control, or they got dominant place in the nobility. During the time of Jahangir, during the time of Shah Jahan, Iranis and Toranis, Central Asians and Iranians got important place in the nobility, and more Muslims were recruited in the nobility. During the time of Aurangzeb, though the size of nobility, the size of foreigners in the nobility got decreased, and nobles were recruited from Indian origin as well. So we need to understand the composition of nobility changed from one ruler to another ruler, from Akbar to Aurangzeb. Number 2, the relationship of nobles with the emperors, especially from Akbar to Aurangzeb, was always cordial and cooperative. Every noble tried to be more loyal and more noble to the king, with the purpose to get more awards, to get more titles, to get more privileges and get more facilities from the king. So the relation between the king and the nobles was very cooperative, was very cordial, and was very important for the peace and prosperity of the empire. Next, it was a good relationship between the rulers or the emperors and the nobles that Mughal Empire progressed and became vast from Akbar to Aurangzeb. So we understand that during Aurangzeb, the Mughal Empire became very much vast, or it reached its highest territorial extent under Aurangzeb. And this all, whether it was Akbar, Jahangir, Shah Jahan, Aurangzeb, the prosperity and progress of empire was not possible had the nobles and rulers been not supportive to one another, had nobles not sought the support of the king is not sought the support of the nobles. So relationship was always good, was always cordial, which resulted in making the Mughal Empire great and vast. Next, these rulers Akbar, Jahangir, Shah Jahan, Aurangzeb, they always tried to do two things. One, keep nobles under their control. How? They used to recruit new nobles. They used to transfer nobles. Sometimes they dismissed nobles. They gave awards to the nobles who did good jobs or who were not loyal to them. And they dismissed nobles as well. So all these things were done by the rulers to give an idea, give a feel of their power to the nobles, and make nobles understand that they have no identity without the king. So on one hand, they try to keep them under control, and on the other hand, these rulers tried everything to seek the confidence and support of these nobles in running the day-to-day administrative affairs of the king, of the empire. So these the rulers from Akbar to Aurangzeb were successful in maintaining the balance. On the one hand, they were able to keep the nobles under their control, did not let them become headstrong, did not let them become this rebellious. And on the other hand, they also give them privileges, facilities, and awards and titles to keep them under their confidence, keep their support in their favor. As a result, as a result of this keeping nobles under their control and seeking their confidence at the same time and support there at the same time, Mughals were able to run the day-to-day administration of the empire in a very smooth way, and which helped in the peace and progress of the empire. Number next, the promotion of nobles solely depended on the will of the emperor. More close a noble was to the emperor, more chances were of his promotion. Less close or lower, if a noble was far from the emperor, had not caught a relation with the emperor, there were least chances of his promotion and other facilities to be given to him by the ruler. However, we understand, last point, after Aurangzeb, the relationship between kings and the nobles did not remain cordial. The nobles became kingmakers. The rulers or the emperors became puppets in the hands of these nobles. Whenever nobles wished to dethrone a king, they could dethrone him. Whenever nobles wished to install a new ruler on the throne, they could install a new ruler on the throne. So nobles became kingmakers. That kings had no powers in their hands. And this deterioration of the institution of nobility ultimately proved an important reason for the downfall of the Mughal Empire. Thank you.